Going to be a hot one today. Kris Bryant really carried the team last night. The Cubs, JD, had 4 hits, no hits after the second inning, but they had already scored 7 times.
Cozart struggled with his control, walked some, and then we talked so much about on-base plus slugging. Kris Bryant provided the slugging. It's a second 2-homer game of the year, his second grand slam. His first one off a legitimate pitcher. The first one came off of David Murphy over in Cleveland. This is a tape measure blast for number 1, and then the grand slam into the well. Bryant, the story yesterday.
Yeah, and that performance basically sent Jared Cozart back to the minor leagues as the Marlins today activated Mike Morris off the disabled list. So our lows never stop improving. Kris Bryant, tell you what, Jock Peterson seems to be way ahead in the Rookie of the Year balloting, but we've got a half a season to go.
Absolutely,
here.
Yeah, and he continues to swing the bat like he did yesterday. He's going to post very good numbers, on a pace for 24 home runs now and 99 RBIs. It would be one heck of a rookie year for Kris Bryant.
So as we take a look ahead here, we've got a week to go before the All-Star break. Got a day-night doubleheader on Tuesday. The Cubs will have to add a starting pitcher to go along with Jake Arrieta. Clayton Richard will be available at some point out of the bullpen. They will skip him next weekend, but for a Cubs debut last night, Cubs had to be very pleased.
Yeah, and if not for Kris Bryant, Clayton Richard would have been the story in the ball game yesterday. This was his first Major League appearance since June of 2013. He's had a couple of surgeries since then. Richard's not an overpowering guy. He's a strike thrower, sinkers, moves the ball around the strike zone. Very effective yesterday, scattered 8 hits, allowed just 2 runs, walked 1, punched out 4 in 6 in the third inning. So welcome back to the big leagues, Clayton Richard, and a very nice first impression.
Bullpen has been terrific. The starters have actually been very good as of late as well. And again, the Cubs with the 7 runs last night. They like to spread the wealth a little bit. No Anthony Rizzo in the lineup. Mike Baxter will play first. Jorge Soler back off the DL. And your pitching matchup today, different styles, certainly. A couple of right-handers, Kyle Hendricks, coming off a terrific performance on Tuesday. And South Florida native Matt Latos could be on the trading block. He's had a lot of good success against the Cubs in his career, a lot of that with the Cincinnati Reds. We'll take a trip down memory lane when we come back as we get you set for a July 5th of Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Field getting set for the rubber game today, Marlins and the Cubs. Well, July 4th and 5th, marking the 30th anniversary of maybe the wildest regular season game in the history of Major League Baseball. You may have been staying up late watching it on TBS. Mets and Braves just before 4 a.m. on July 5th. The improbable happened as the Braves were trailing 11-10.
This is absolutely the reason. I thought the Braves did the right thing. They let Runge take a shot at winning it, and he hit the ball well. But now 2 outs and 0 on. The Mets are waving their outfielders in. The whole Met team waving their outfielders in. Here's Rick Camp with a game on the line. 2 outs and 0 on base. And at least he took a good cut and fouled it off. Ernie, if he hits a home run to tie this game, this game will be certified as absolutely the nuttiest in the history of baseball.
Well, they could go to another pitcher, but in 18 innings, they've used just about everybody.
No, the only 3 guys left are Bedrosian, Perez, and Zane Smith. There's a strike 0-2.
So they've researched that, and they figure that Camp is the best hitter of the 3 left.
It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. Heat goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Rick Camp. Rick Camp. I don't believe it. Remember what I just said. If he hits a home run, that certifies this game as the wackiest, wildest, most improbable game in history. On an 0-2 pitch, Rick Camp hit it over the left center field wall. I don't believe it. If you only knew on the Braves, we kid Rick Camp about his hitting more than anything. Ernie.
Nobody can believe it. Camp makes it 11-11, his first Major League homer.
I mean, that is the most improbable act. Let's see it again, Ernie.
We got to look at this another 50 times. That goes deep. It's out of here.
And it hit the football bleachers. I mean, if you told me that John Sterling's going to run for president and win, that wouldn't be any more improbable. And I got to tell you, that's improbable.
John Sterling and Ernie Johnson with a call. Camp, by the way, gave up 5 in the 19th to lose the game. Some fireworks last night. Chuck Carfine coming up, and then we'll have the rubber match from Wrigley.
part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Beautiful day for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Rubber game today. Cubs try to finish their season series against the Marlins at 3 wins apiece. And a big crowd on hand today, the day after the 4th of July, but still celebrating the holiday weekend. And Chris Bryant, a very popular guy, especially after the curtain call last night, hit 2 home runs in the first 2 innings. And the Cubs right now playing some good baseball. They're pitching well. Sporadic offensive outbursts, we should say. But this week, JD, it's been good enough because of the pitching.
Yeah, especially in New York. The Cubs didn't score a lot of runs against the Mets, but the pitching was outstanding. They allowed just 1 run in that series. They've continued to pitch well here against the Marlins over the weekend. And there, Jorge Soler back to provide a little juice in the batting order. His presence really is what allowed Joe Madden to give Anthony Rizzo a day off today. So Rizzo will take a seat. Soler back up off the DL. He has been out of action since the 1st of June, and hopefully he can come back and get a little something going with the bat.
And Matt Caesar option to AAA Iowa. He has kind of been that guy this year, and we'll see Matt again very soon, I'm sure. And last night was really cool. After the Cubs completed their 7-2 win, 37,898, and nobody left because they wanted to see a unique thing here at Wrigley Field, a post-game fireworks show. Worked out very nicely.
Yeah, I was curious as to how they were going to do it, and obviously they did it right down there on the outfield. Good stuff. Good weekend here.
And also good stuff, thankfully, on Gary Jones, the Cubs veteran third base coach. Late in the ballgame last night, he took a foul liner off the bat of Addison Russell. He had nowhere to go. He got hit near the elbow, and he went straight down and stayed there for a good 45 to 60 seconds. The Cubs athletic training staff checked on him, and not only was he okay, he stayed in the game. And he kept the toothpick in his mouth. That's a gamer right there.
That's a gamer's right.
But he had no shot to get out of the way. That's a tough spot, and he was playing back and off that coach's box area and still got drilled.
It's kind of like a pitch that's behind a hitter. Your natural inclination when something's coming at you is to back up. So I think Gary he's moving away from the field and had no chance to avoid that rocket, but he's good to go. You just wonder, as long as he's the arm he waves runners in with, I mean, he's got to make sure that's working.
So the Cubs take the field behind right-hander Kyle Hendricks. Second start this year against the Miami Marlins. And now we'll check out the visitors' Southwest starting lineup. D. Gordon will likely find out in a few hours. He is the starting second baseman for the National League in the upcoming All-Star game. Christian Yelich has been in a red-hot stretch. He homered on Friday. Echeverria batting third, playing short. Justin Moore did not start yesterday. Got into the game late, but ended his 4-game home run streak. Cole Gillespie's had a big weekend against his former team. Derek Dietrich gets the start at third. Marcell Ozuna will be in center. Jeff Mathis with his first and only start of the series back at the plate. And Matt Latos can handle the bat a little bit. He'll be in the 9 spot.
Well, we'll check in with the Cubs defensively here this afternoon and welcome back Jorge Soler to his normal perch out there in right field. Fowler's got center covered. Chris Coughlin in left. Bryant, Castro, Russell, and Mike Baxter on the infield, with Rizzo getting the day off. Miguel Montero behind the plate. And Alexis pursuing perfection. Starting pitcher for the Cubs this afternoon is the professor, Kyle Hendricks. 3-4 with a 4.15 ERA. A lot of no decisions for him this year. This is his 16th time to make a start for the Cubs. 84 hits in 84 2/3 innings. He doesn't walk many. League hits 258 against them. 6 shutout innings last time out against the Mets in New York in a 1-0 Cubs win.
Umpires, Chris Siegel will be at third. Marvin Hudson back to the plate. Holbrook, Gibson, first and second, respectively. Gibson, the crew chief, at second.
That start in New York for Kyle. David Ross did the catching, and it was a little different mix for Hendricks. And I talked to him about it the next day. I said, it seemed to me you were throwing your curveball more. He goes, yeah. He goes, I've become so sinker reliant, and sometimes I just don't have the feel for that pitch. I have to have a plan B. So he mixed in more curveballs and cutters in that start against the Mets. And he said it's also kind of David, he said David tends to call the game a little bit differently than Montero. We'll see what he features today. At the end of the day, the sinker is still his primary weapon. And when he's on, he's going to get a lot of ground ball outs. Good changeup. And typically very good location.
So here is D. Gordon to lead it off. 116 hits, leading the majors, and we are underway. Strike one. Last night in the 7th inning, Gordon took a free pass. It was his first unintentional walk since May 21st. 39 games ago, there's a tapper to Hendricks in front of the mound, and he'll get over 170 plate appearances between unintentional walks for Gordon. So he likes to put the ball in play. One out here in the top of the first.
And normally you would want a guy with a higher walk rate at the top of the batting order, but he has a good on-base percentage because he's hitting for such a high average. Obviously, if that batting average starts to slip, he becomes less valuable.
Yelich has 3 hits in the series, including that home run on Friday. And he's now 12 for his last 23 with 6 walks during a 7-game hitting streak. 78 degrees, but it feels a lot warmer in the sun, and a southeast wind at 11, so right to left. And that one's in the right. 8-game hitting streak for Christian Yelich. Very bright today, isn't it? Got kind of a little bit of a hazy sky with a lot of sun.
Reminds me a little bit of Friday. That's a ball that Anthony Rizzo may or may not play. It's a ball that Rizzo probably pursues.
First time this year Rizzo has been out of the starting lineup. Last night got hit by a pitch for the 17th time. Adeiny Echeverria takes ball 1. Career .340 hitter against the Cubs.
Hendricks, a ground ball pitcher. Dan Jennings may decide to start a base runner here to stay out of a double play.
He stumbled out of the box, and they will turn it. He did not hit the ball very hard, and I think normally he beats that out, but he got a late start out of the box after he broke his bat. So the Cubs turn the 6-4-3, and they're coming up when we come back. Tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit. Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. Statue of Hall of Famer sweet swinging Billy Williams outside the ballpark in the Cubs Southwest starting lineup, beginning with Dexter Fowler, the center fielder. Chris Coghlan moves up to bat second ahead of Chris Bryant with his dozen home runs, second among National League rookies behind John Peterson. Montero in the cleanup spot. Castro, good to see Soler back. Baxter at first. Hendricks the pitcher, and Russell the second baseman.
Fish afield. Strength is really up the middle in the infield with Echeverria and Gordon. They are very, very slick. Dietrich and Bohr third first. Yelich, Ozuna, Gillespie cover the outfield. Jeff Mathis, the veteran, is behind the plate for Matt Latos.
6'6", 245. 27 years old, from South Florida, went to Coconut Creek High School and then Broward Community College. Padre, Red, now Marlin. Not sure if he'll finish the year with Miami or not, as he makes his 14th start.
Yeah, free agent to be at the end of the year. He is trending in the right direction. He got off to a terrible start. 3-1 with a 3.86 ERA in the month of June.
You see Fowler's numbers. He had a good night last night. A double, a bases loaded walk, scored twice after some early work with hitting coach John Maley. And a 1-2 from Latos. And he's popped into left. So I think Dexter's done a little bit too much. Is hit lazy fly balls. He's got some home run pop, but with his speed, you like to see him hit the ball on a line and on the ground a little bit more often. And here comes Coghlan.
Trying to get on top a little bit more. A constant struggle, a year-long battle for these guys, riding the highs and lows of a major league season.
Really good slash line for Chris Coghlan. 253, 353, 429, and remember, had a ton of bad luck early. He was hitting rockets for outs the first couple of months, and those line drives have started to fall in. 1 ball, no strikes.
4-pitch mix for Latos. 2 and 4 seam fastball. He'll cut it. Slider, curve, a change.
Outside, 2-0. So Coghlan reunited with John Maley. Same for Dexter Fowler. Coghlan had Maley with the Marlins. Fowler was with John last year in Houston. 3-0. There's one smart cookie right there. He understands mechanics, certainly the mental side, and he knows the numbers and the important ones and what they mean. Fly ball rates and batting average on balls in play. As Coghlan draws the walk.
Yeah, he also spends hours breaking down video of opposing pitchers and gives his guys a game plan. What they're likely to see in any given count, how they've gotten them out in the past for some of the veteran guys. Not so much of a book for some of these younger hitters. But he'll be able to tell a guy before a game against a given starter, look, he's going to work your fastballs away early in the count, then he's going to try to jam you. If he's got 2 strikes, he's going to try to bury a breaking ball. And he's gotten you out with a slider 8 out of 10 times. I mean, he's got it all. And obviously, the hitter has to process that, go to the plate with a game plan and execute. But I don't think anybody's going to accuse John Maley of not doing his part. He's a grinder.
Ball 1 on Chris Bryant. Yeah, we've talked about the Cubs pitching infrastructure, starting with Chris Bosio, obviously Lester Strode, Mike Borzello, but the hitting infrastructure is in very good hands with John Maley, Eric Hinsky. We've seen Manny Ramirez a lot this year. Career night for Chris last night, as we mentioned. 2 homers, 6 RBIs in the first 2 innings. Coghlan takes off. There's a bullet hit in the left, and Coghlan on his way to third. He will get there safely, and they're at the corners with only 1 out.
6-game hitting streak for Chris Bryant now. We see Coughlin on the move. Just beyond the reach of a diving Echeverria.
Walked in with Chris today, Bryant, and said the ball sounded really good off the bat last night. He said, yeah, I've actually got some new bats. They have a different finish, a different lacquer. He said, it does sound different. I think it has more to do with him than the bat, but
probably felt pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, Montero 1 for 8 with an RBI in the series. You referenced David Ross earlier. He's on the 7-day concussion disabled list. Just wasn't quite right for taking a couple of foul balls the other day. Swing and a miss. Strike one.
And you have to be careful of that. He's dealt with that in the past.
So Taylor Teagarden up from AAA Iowa. And he is Montero's backup for the time being. The 0-1. Too low. 1-1. Just give me a too low clap.
Yeah, you said too low, and I immediately thought of the Rockies. Too low. This gentleman here, Latos, 7-2 in his career against the Cubs, 4-0 here at Wrigley Field with a 273 earned run average.
Foul in the wind will push this one way back toward the seats.
So obviously he's pretty comfortable pitching here. You'd love to do a little early damage and make him less comfortable. Latos has been on the scene a while now, but he's still just 27 years of age. 63 and 50 lifetime with a 347 earned run average.
Just 16 starts last year with the Reds. Left knee surgery February, then flexor mass strain in April. Runner goes from first. That's Bryant. The throw down to second. Not in time. The bounced throw. And Echeverria could not get the tag down in time.
Play that ball on a hop shoulder high, and that allowed Bryant to get in ahead of the tag.
So that is Bryant's 8th steal, third most on the team. 2-2 meantime on Montero in the pitch, and he got him. Montero will run to first. They'll complete the play 2-3. It's a big second out for Latos.
So it's interesting, first inning here, and winds blowing out, hot day. You think Joe Madden might want to just kind of sit back and not push things, let his guys swing, but as we've seen time and time again, he likes to push the envelope. Had Coughlin moving, and Bryant delivered the base hit to left, has Chris Steele second. The quote-unquote book says you don't take chances on the bases when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley. Lose a base runner. Sit back and slug.
See if Castro can come through here with 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. On the outside corner. You don't see line scores quite like the one we saw last night very often. 7-2 Cubs the final. The Marlins out hit the Cubs 10-4, but they left 12 on base. The Cubs left 1. They didn't have nearly as many chances. When you hit a 2-run homer and a grand slam, those things don't matter quite as much.
Well, look at the Houston Astros, what they're doing. Half their team's hitting less than 200, it seems, and among the league leaders in runs scored over there in the American League because they hit the ball out of the ballpark a lot.
One pops away, out of play, and the Cubs will grab the lead on a very wild pitch. 1-0.
Atos gives the hitter some tough angles. He's a big, tall guy, 6'6", comes over the top and drives that ball down in the strike zone. This has got a little synced run on it. Mathis got to make a play on that ball.
Well, he whiffed, yeah. That was a fastball. I wonder if it was a cross-up.
It might have been. Maybe he was supposed to cut a little bit.
High fly ball out in the deep center. It should be playable for Ozuna, and that will end the inning. But the Cubs do grab the lead on an errant pitch, 1-0. December, lifetime Cubs fan. First time here at Wrigley Field, courtesy of his son, Stephen Light. Great to see them at the ballpark today. Also, happy birthday, Charlene Brooks, on this Sunday.
Well, the Cardinals are in town. Beginning tomorrow night, it's a 3-day, 4-game series. Split doubleheader on Tuesday. Tickets still available, especially for that day-night double dip on Tuesday. Tickets can be yours at Cubs.com.
I want Charlene Brooks to know your son-in-law, Gary Stark, doing a great job in the Cubs clubhouse, as always. Justin Bour, the game-winning home run on Friday, his third consecutive game-winning home run and his fourth homer in as many days. Did not get the start last night. Pinch hit, played first late. He struck out and walked. After this series, the Marlins head to Boston. They'll have an off day tomorrow, and they'll start a series Tuesday against the Red Sox. Michael Moore's activated today, but not in their lineup, and could be the DH in that series. Bour is the kind of guy you're not going to take out of your lineup. I know Morse can play the corner outfield spots as well. A little surprised that he wasn't in their lineup. Two and two the count.
Yeah, they need sluggers, don't they? With Giancarlo Stanton on the DL, I'm going to find some power. They're not getting it from Ozuna, a guy they expected to hit with a little more authority. He's been scuffling. Bour very streaky.
Michael Morse swing and a miss on a changeup.
Yeah, I seem to recall seeing that happen when Hendricks faced Bour in Miami. Big fella geared for the heater, and the professor took him to school with some changeups. This is just a perfect pitch right here. On the plate, dipping down below the knees.
Ex-Cub Cole Gillespie. playing right today. 3 for 7 in the series. 2 doubles, a walk, and a stolen base. So the Marlins will be the 3rd team to play consecutive series at Wrigley and Fenway, according to stats. The Brewers did it June of 2011. The Phillies did it back in 1998.
I think if you're a young guy first coming to the big leagues and that's your first road trip, that's pretty sweet.
Strike 3 called. Fastball outside corner. Consecutive Ks for Hendricks here in the second.
Little Rembrandt painting the outside corner. Who's the guy with the dots? Artist Surratt, I think his name was.
Wait a minute, you're all over the place. Is he a professor or is he the artist?
He's
kind of both. Is he an art professor?
That's exactly what he is.
Dietrich. Or a professorial artist.
He's an art historian.
One lined into right. One hop to Soler for a base hit.
Dot in the outside corner. Dietrich jumped on the breaking pitch. It was Ozuna that got him in Florida. It was a bases loaded double to clear the bases. I think he punched out Stanton. He had been big jam. He was on the verge of getting out of it, and this guy broke his heart.
Smart Alec on Twitter, but a smart Alec said, wouldn't the Cubs and Red Sox be teams that have played consecutive series at Fenway and Wrigley? I guess we mean teams that don't actually play their home games in those 2 parks. We'll file that under the you know what I meant category. That's a strike. One and one. That's been a rough go for Ozuna.
Now 33-4 for his last 42.
Now 2-1.
Can't forget about doing your work inside here today. Had a little action running in on him. Kyle, he's going to get a lot of outs against both right and left-handed hitters on the outside part of the plate, but you got to make sure you come in every now and then to keep hitters honest so they don't go out and cover that on you. Wind blowing out the left, right-handed hitter with some juice in his bat. Sometimes you're a little nervous about coming in, but he has such good command. Typically, he feels pretty comfortable running that fastball in on their hands.
Swing and a miss. All 3 outs were punch outs here in the second for Kyle Hendricks. 1-0 Cubs. sponsored by Coors Light. It's Chicago's most popular game show where fans test their sports trivia knowledge and try to win cold, hard cash. Beer money tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs lead 1-0 on a wild pitch. Latos to Soler, who actually injured his left ankle on June 1st in Miami. 4 games this week at Iowa, 2 for 13. Activated off the DL earlier this morning. Batting 6th in the lineup. 1-1. Edge, Jorge not so sure. Marvin Hudson's call. Interesting first 2 months for Jorge, wasn't it? He had his moments where he was locked in, but saw him swing at some pitches we normally would not see, and apparently swung at that one.
Yeah, he just he hasn't had the ability, shown the ability to consistently take control of at bats. He gets behind in the count, he gets a little anxious. That's contrary to the reputation he had. He got worked over pretty good here by Latos and Marvin Hudson. That's a frustrating at bat for him. Latos painted the corner with a heater, and then the breaking pitch was clearly off the plate but called a strike, and that's what leads to the anxiousness and the chase on the bad breaking ball. It's a tough thing for any hitter, especially a young hitter, kind of move on after guys either made a great pitch on you or the umpires made an unfavorable call.
Foul strike on Mike Baxter. This is his first career start in the big leagues at first. Played there a fair amount in the minors, but then again he played just about everywhere in the minor leagues. Oh, caught by Latos. That ball was ticketed for center field, but Latos stuck his glove out, made the grab.
6-6, and quick reflexes here for Latos. As you hear the crack of the bat and then the snap of the leather. Boom,
what
boom.
A play. The ball was tattooed, and the tattooed arm of Latos caught it. We've got a big piece of Mathis, the catcher. Final 2 out of 30 on the year with a double and a run knocked in.
Hudson continues to call that pitch. I'm not saying it's a bad pitch, but if he stays consistent, both these pitchers are certainly capable of exploiting that.
Right down the middle, strike 3. And a quick 1-2-3. Latos helping his own cause with a terrific snag. 1-zip, Cubs after 2. Insider all season long here on Comcast Sportsnet, brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. CSNChicago.com. Tony Andracki will have all the pre and post game notes up on the website. Make sure you check it out. 1-0 Cubs. Marlins batting here in the third inning. 8-9-1 starting with Jeff Mathis. Broken right ring finger put him on the DL early this season. And he looks at a strike.
Didn't they have a couple guys go down with that?
Morse.
Yeah. Evan Morse had?
Might have been the same finger, the right ring finger.
That time Marvin Hudson didn't call that borderline pitch away. Let me rephrase that. He called it away. He didn't call it a strike.
Three and one. Pitcher Latos is on deck.
Mathis, like a lot of backup catchers, solid defensively, not much with the bat. Lifetime 195, so challenge him right here.
Right, it was Mathis and Mike Napoli, right? They were the combo in Anaheim for a long time. Mathis was the defensive guy, Napoli the offensive half of that tandem. Broken bat roller. Scooped by Castro, and he'll get it to Baxter in time.
This Wednesday, first pitch is at 7:05, and the St. Louis Cardinals are in town. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Cubs cooler presented by Comcast Sportsnet. For tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Periodically, we, or I at least, drop the quality versus non-quality start record. Cubs are 32-8 when they get a quality start. They're 11-28 when they don't. So that's an 80% clip. They win when they get a quality start.
I read a note the other day too where the Cubs have won 9 games this year when they've scored 1 or 2. I mean they pitched so well, they've been able to win some games that normally you would not.
Bouncer sending Russell backhand side. 2 outs.
Strikeouts and groundouts so far for Hendricks. Wind, not much of a factor if you don't let him hit it in the air.
Gordon tapped back to the mound to start the ball game. Just to underscore the lack of walks. The 363 on base average, very good for D. Gordon, but only a 21-point spread from his batting average. So yeah, it's built on hits and pretty much hits alone.
And that one of the reasons why the Dodgers moved him? The low walk rate?
Yeah. Called strike 3, inning over. 4 punch outs. The first 10 batters for Kyle Hendricks, leading 1-0.
business. Register at your local sports authority for your chance to win tickets for the game, airfare, accommodations, a player meet and greet, and more. Brought to you by Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of your Chicago Cubs. Sweepstakes ends July 13th. See store for official rules.
Have you made it down to check out the dead?
Have not.
But you do like Cherry Garcia ice cream.
Love
right?
Cherry Garcia.
That counts. Addison Russell, ball one.
Yeah, also that zone a little tighter here. Just not happy. Yeah, wasn't the Dead's good. I mean, I like their music. I haven't listened to a lot of it. Just never got caught up in the whole Deadhead thing. A lot of folks here this weekend, though, enjoying their final shows. Baby's a little tapped out after the show last night.
One and two on Addison, is just one for his last 23. Fowler on deck. Strikeout number 4. Latos.
Yeah, well, if Cub hitters are paying attention, the right-handed hitters in particular, they're going to kind of get a sense of Latos' pattern. We saw it with Soler, now again with Russell. So we have breaking ball in the zone, and then when he's looking to put you away, he'll bury that pitch off the plate down. Good action on the curveball today. We'll see if the Cub hitters adjust and try to get to him a little more quickly earlier in the count.
Flying to left his first time up. So, did you know when Dexter Fowler started switch hitting, from the left side he had a slightly split grip? Hands were about a half an inch apart. He did that up until 2009 when Rockies hitting coach Don Baylor said, nope. That's
good enough for Ty Cobb.
Yeah, he did take a few at bats in the big leagues the year before with the split grip before Baylor got him to change it. Yeah, he showed me the other day. It wasn't. His hands weren't spread out that far, but they were not touching one another. Let's put it that way. Bounce to first. Bohr will take it unassisted.
Did he say what his theory was for using the split grip?
I don't think he even knew he was doing it.
Throw the head of the bat a little.
No, there was no theory. I think it just kind of
happened.
It just happened. You know, it's one of those things where if you do something kind of mechanically wrong as a kid or as a high schooler or even early on in your minor league career, but you have some sort of success with it, and then somebody tries to change you go, oh, I didn't even know I was doing it. And then those habits are really hard to break. Yeah. I mean, I've heard stories of guys at this level, at the big league level, who've had good success for a year or 2 or 3, maybe even more than that, and a hitting coach goes, you can't hit like that. You can't have success doing that. And you go, what do I do?
That's not necessarily good coaching, is it? If a guy's having success, just look the other way. It may be unorthodox. You might not like it for one reason or another, but if the guy's producing, leave him alone.
Called strike 3. Latos settling in. 5 punch outs for him. 1-0 Cubs. Budweiser Bleacher Fridays continue July 10th with an extra innings show featuring Fits and the Tantrums from inside the ballpark. Bleacher fans 21 and older get an extra innings concert koozie presented by Budweiser. Post-game show open to all game attendees. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Is a strike on Yelich. This is a bunt. He's a little too fine with it, and it rolls foul.
Yelich should be one of those guys you have to make sure you do your work inside on. He's very good at hitting the ball the other way. Hit a home run to left field here on Friday.
Up in the dirt.
Smart hitter. He took that change up like he knew it was coming.
By Baxter.
An interesting pitch by Kyle Hendricks right there. You saw him shake off the sinker to go back to the changeup. So even though Yelich, as I mentioned, he took that previous one, anticipated it, saw it real well, didn't even flinch. Hendricks, very savvy himself, said, well, let's see if he's thinking I'm going to come back with yet another one. And this time he does get him out in front to roll over on it.
Maria bounced into a 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning. Wind and the offering. He attempts a bunt, and that will be foul.
How about that? Typically out-of-town hitters come in here on a warm summer day with the wind blowing out, and they just want to swing. Let's try to bunt. Echeverria as well. It just speaks to the command that Hendricks has here today. Hitters feeling a little bit overmatched right now by Hendricks, and not by the power, but by the precision.
Pop. It'll become a souvenir. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins will sing the stretch a little later. I'd say right around the middle of the 7th, thereabouts.
Pretty good guess.
Usually happens after the third out of the top of the 7th. I hate to be too specific, though. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That was the cut changeup from Hendricks. 5th strikeout of the afternoon. 3 swinging on changeups and 2 looking at fastballs. This one starts in the zone, dives down and away. Beautiful pitch. You see the circle change grip. The delayed pronation creates that cutting action.
Strike.
There's the t-shirt you need to get. The savvy baseball fan will be wearing the delayed pronation t-shirt, paying homage to Kyle Hendricks.
Wow.
Ooh.
Two to count.
Or strikeout victim first time up. It was a changeup that finished him off. Goes old school, isn't he? It looks like he'd be playing in your beer league softball team. Big burly guy, no batting gloves. Getting frustrated with all these off-speed pitches. He's like, challenge me, throw me a heater.
Kind of guy Darrell Ward and Matt Stairs with one in their club. Sit back and wait for a 3-run homer.
Tried that little two-seam fastball earlier. See if he goes back to it. Looks like they're going to stay away. Change up again. They can't hit it.
Hendricks has fanned 6 and has given up just 2 singles here in the first 4 innings.
Saturday, the battle for the Crosstown Cup continues as the Cubs and Sox get together. First pitch at 3:05. First 10,000 fans receive a mobile power bank presented by Starwood Preferred Guest. For details, visit Cubs.com. What's a mobile power bank? Like a charging thing to charge your
power. That's what it's, yeah.
I had a mobile power bank when I was a kid. You put the penny in the little hand and you pop it into the bank.
I don't know if kids use those piggy banks anymore.
Probably not as fascinated as we would have been back in the day.
They have the piggy bank app for bitcoins.
Yeah. You're just going to the phone and taking money out of Dad's account.
1 strike offering to Chris Bryant. Is strike 2.
And whereas Hendricks has been fastball changeup, for Latos it's been fastball curveball. Combination's been really good for him today. That's the old, whatever you do, don't make a mistake with this pitch.
Looking on a graphics issue, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chris Bryant. Cubs leading 1-0 in the 4th. Here's ball 2, 2-2.
Working on changing that eye level, isn't he? Throws a 55-footer and then a shoulder high fastball, and Likely will come back with a breaking pitch here. Go fastball in.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. So each starting pitcher today with 6 strikeouts.
Good job there by Mathis, changing the program a little bit. He had been going back to that curveball to finish off right-handed hitters. This is the 3rd consecutive fastball, but all in different spots. You see he bounced one, then one way up, and then a 2-seamer moving down and in a little bit on Bryant.
Montero punched out his first time up. Litos from the first base side of the pitching rubber, and that's a strike on the outside. Good note via Barry Rose on Twitter. Hank Aaron actually hit cross-handed when he got to the big leagues. I think a lot of guys way back when hit cross-handed. You referenced Ty Cobb with the split grip.
I do, and I remember somebody in the minor leagues, their name escapes me now, did that.
So cross-handed would be right-handed hitter instead of the right hand being on the top. That would be on the bottom. It's almost would be like a backhand. You think of it in hockey terms. Montero strikes out 3 in a row now for Litos. Maybe you should have tried cross-handed. Maybe that would have been the difference.
And I always wonder if maybe I was a right-handed hitter and just didn't know it. Cross-handed thing I like. At least I might have been able to pull the ball every once in a while with that.
Actually, in the minor leagues, Hank Aaron switched. So I guess early in his minor league career, hit cross-handed, then switched. It's on the outside corner. One ball, one strike. Cubs lead 1-0. Just missed. Bounced foul past Gary Jones.
Jonesy might be playing a step or two deeper today after getting smoked yesterday.
Good take. Pitch that dive bombed into the dirt right before it got to Mathis. 3-2. Soler on deck. And he walked him. Second time Litos has walked a Cub batter. Coughlin in the first, and he would later come around to score. Well, if you missed our pregame coverage, and hopefully you didn't, we showed video of one of the craziest 4th of July games ever. And a long rain delay in Atlanta back on July 4th, 1985. So this is the 30th anniversary. The game started after 9 o'clock local time. Took over 6 hours to play. They finished a little before 4 a.m. and actually had a fireworks show at Fulton County Stadium. They had nearly 45,000. And the tickets sold. Maybe 10,000 were there when the game ended. They went 19 innings. The Mets beat the Braves 16-13. But the memorable moment of that game was Braves pitcher Rick Camp hitting a game-tying homer on an 0-2 offering from Tom Gorman in the bottom of the 18th, as Castro will head to second, and he's in. As that ball just squirted away from the catcher Mathis. It'll be a pass ball.
This is a breaking ball in the dirt that he gets in the heel of his glove, just can't hang on. I think they'll probably change that to a wild pitch. I think the previous one should have been a pass ball, but it was ruled a wild pitch. But either way, Castro's in scoring position, and Soler with a chance to drive him in here.
1-1 on Soler, just back from the DL. Good block that time by Mathis.
It's taking a beating back there. It did when the fireworks went off in Atlanta. We're like people calling the police, so they thought there was gunfire in the middle of the night. It's 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it seems a little late. Had to be a curfew, right? They've changed the pass ball to a wild pitch.
That's right. I think the first one should have been a pass ball. But neither here nor there. Rick Camp, it's the only home run he hit in his major league career. Lifetime 074 hitter. And he was so caught up in the moment, he went out and gave up 5 runs.
Yeah, he actually lost the game, but everybody remembers his home run. Keith Hernandez hit for the cycle, took him 10 at bats. Gary Carter went 5 for 9. Lenny Dykstra, Wally Backman, and Hernandez all had 11 plate appearances. The Mets had 28 hits in the game. Terry Harper went 5 for 10 for Atlanta. Hard on the ground, backhanded play at Echeverria. He's got time, and that's the inning. When we come back, we'll show you that historic, wacky, wild, crazy home run in Atlanta 30 years ago.
Two outs and 0 on. The Mets are waving their outfielders in. It'll be an 0-2 pitch. And he is at the deep left. Heat goes back. It is gone. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Rick Camp. Rick Camp. I don't believe it.
What a great call by John Sterling. Ernie Johnson alongside on TBS in the wee hours of the morning on what ended up being July 5th, 1985. Fifth inning here, 1-0 Cubs. Strike called on Cole Gillespie. I just tweeted out a link to the sportingnews.com article by Jason Foster with some tidbits on that game. Talked about the rain, the fact that you had puddles of water in the outfield. They probably never should have played it. The Mets played the game under protest due to a lineup issue. Davey Johnson and Darryl Strawberry were ejected in the top of the 17th. Castro will field, and out at first is Gillespie. Terry Tata, the umpire, recalled saying, "Davey, at 3 o'clock in the morning, anything's a strike."
He's tired and cranky.
Rusty Staub was still active. He appeared in the game for the Mets. Same for George Foster. Gary Carter caught 305 pitches.
Got the whole game, right?
Yep. Dale Murphy hit a 2-out, 3-run double in the 8th. It gave the Braves the lead 8-7. Looked like it was going to be just a fun 9-inning game, but the Mets then tied it when Bruce Sutter blew the save in the top of the 9th. And maybe the best note of all, Roger McDowell, who then was pitching for the Mets, claimed to have eaten 7 cheeseburgers during the game. That was according to John Holland, the longtime visiting clubhouse manager in Atlanta, who's still there. Fowler makes the catch. Dietrich is out.
Yeah, and I think McDowell was part of the controversy with the protest by Davey Johnson. The story I read, Roger went out during one of the rain delays to check on the condition of the mound. And so at that point, Terry Tata said that Davey couldn't double switch because Roger had already come into the game.
Something like that,
funky,
yeah. It had to do with a pitcher, I believe. There was one position player who did not get in. That was Ron Reynolds, Mets backup catcher. Swing and a miss. Ozuna chased one. 0-2.
Kyle Hendricks is deep inside the head of these Marlin hitters. Carving them up here. Ozuna going way out of the zone for that one.
Would it be fair to say that, was it the 16-inning game in the NLCS? Was that the craziest or one of the craziest games you?
That one, and then we also had a 20. Oh my goodness! Talk about getting in the kitchen. 22-inning game or something like that with the Dodgers.
That's right. Some fun ones throughout the years for sure. Kyle Hendricks dealing today, leading 1-0 in the 5th. Thank you, and we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Shellsburg Cable today in Shellsburg, Iowa. One nothing. The Cubs have the lead. They'll bat here in the 5th inning. Latos and Kyle Hendricks largely dominated the action. Mike Baxter just got clipped on the inside breaking ball. Latos not happy. The Cubs have a base runner.
Gives Kyle Hendricks a chance to drop down a sacrifice bunt. And the Cubs don't do very often. As a matter of fact, he got the first one for a pitcher not too long ago.
Reminds me of Jose Tabata getting hit by Max Scherzer. I think that's always a good baseball play when a batter kind of tries to look like he's getting out of the way without actually doing it. Throw to second. They get one, not two. Another's choice for Hendricks.
Just not able to dent that ball enough. And Latos, despite being a big guy, pretty nimble here, bouncing off the mound. 6'6", 245. And he gets on this one quickly. Snaps off that throw, and he gets a lead man. Could be an important play in a 1-0 ball game.
We'll bring up Russell. Well, when it is all said and done, maybe we'll remember Chris Bryant in his quote breakout game as the 4th of July game last night. Avisail Garcia, a home run saving catch, went way up to get it in right as the White Sox held off the Orioles yesterday. Did you see that catch, by the way?
I saw a replay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeff Samardzija flirted with a no-hitter yesterday.
He did. We had Dave Righetti throw a no-hitter on the 4th of July for the Yankees.
George Steinbrenner's birthday.
Busy day back there, hasn't it, for the catcher Mathis.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Not only to block, but he didn't block it. He picked it. When it bounces in real tight to your body, that's easier to block and control. And one a little further out in front, much tougher. Yeah, you know, that was Righetti. That was 83. That was Righetti's last year as a starting pitcher. The year before, he had really struggled with his control. He pitched really well that year. I just wonder what kind of career he would have had he stayed a start. I mean, he had a heck of a career as a reliever, over 250 saves. But I think he would have blossomed into one of the dominant starters in the American League.
Well, the Righetti no-hitter, it was the first Yankee no-no since Don Larson's perfect game in the 56 series. Runner goes on the 3-2 and a high bouncer to third. Actually, Hendricks stopped. I think he thought that ball was popped up at first.
Yeah,
you're exactly
right. You're exactly right. He looks up, sees the ball in the air, thought it was a little pop-up, and hetated. Talk about Joe Madden and his willingness to start base runners. Here he starts Hendricks. A little confusion, but you know, even if it was popped up, he was dead to rights. There was nowhere to go at that point.
Now Fowler with a runner at second and 2 outs. Breaking ball bounced foul.
Marlins aren't a real shifty bunch, are they?
No, they don't appear to be. Strasburg put on the DL today by the Nationals.
Strained oblique.
Grounding ball to Bohr. So let's go back 32 years ago this weekend. Dave Righetti against the Red Sox. Breaking out a future Hall of Famer, Wade Boggs, to complete it. Friday, September 11th, the Zach Brown Band is coming back to Wrigley Field for the Jekyll and Hyde Tour. Tickets are on sale now at Cubs.com/Zach Brown Band. Don't miss your chance to see this three-time Grammy-winning band here at Wrigley Field. Hope you're enjoying your Independence Day weekend. This will lead off an inning for the second time. And he sends one in the air out to Soler, who went in, back, and then in again.
Not many balls in the air today for the Marlins. Just a soft liner there. First pitch. Well, he's been strike one on just about everybody. Putting on a clinic here this afternoon is the art professor.
Strike one to Latos. That one whacked into center. So Latos now 5 out of 16.
Yeah, third hit of the game for the Marlins, all singles. First one since the 2-out knock by Dietrich in the second. Just a little lazy there with that fastball to Latos. Opposing pitcher up there letting down maybe.
Mr. Castro, and no relay throw. Smart play by Starlin. With Gordon running, really
might have been better off going to the bag first and then seeing if he still had a play on Latos, because there's a pretty good chance Gordon's going to steal second base here. I mean, that's not anything anyone would tell you to do. I'd be stunned if Gordon's not trying to steal second base here.
Well, you've mentioned this before. You go into a series, into a game with who do I need to work around if I have to? Yelich and Bohr are those two guys right now for the Marlins, right? You got to be a little careful.
Let's see if Mike Baxter had an option of going to first. Normally when that ball takes you, no, he's not going to have a play on Latos if he does. I thought he was a little closer to the bag than he was.
So in other words, I think if Gordon ends up stealing second during this at bat, now Hendricks ahead 0-1, but they'll be a little cautious with Yelich, with Echeverria on deck, maybe some dirt in his eye.
Yeah, the thing about Hendricks and the way he's going along today, there's not a whole lot of give in his game. I mean, he doesn't throw many. Here it is, go ahead and hit it fastballs. I mean, he'll pick his spots. He threw one to Latos there, but against a quote unquote legitimate hitter, you know, he's all about picking corners, changing speeds.
The Steelers lead for Gordon. Feels like just a matter of time here, and he was leaning.
Boy, they're really working hard here. Gordon trying to time Hendricks, trying to get a good jump. Kyle doing everything he can to shut him down, throwing over a couple of times. That time holding the ball a good long while, trying to upset his rhythm.
They got him out at first. To end the inning, Kyle Hendricks picks off D. Gordon.
Doing everything right.
Bottom of the sixth, still 1-0.
what we have here this afternoon. Look how quick Kyle Hendricks is with the feet, and a perfect throw to Mike Baxter over there at first base. More difficult play for a right-handed throwing first baseman, but the throw is right on the money, and a good assertive tag by Baxter. Make sure he applies that tag firmly to that lead arm of D. Gordon. Big play by Hendricks and Baxter to get the speedster. Nice.
Still 1-0.
And not just the pickoff move, but that whole sequence of throwing over, holding it a long time.
Two and 0.
These outfielders playing pretty deep here. I've noticed it with Ozuna a number of times in this game. I don't know if it's because of the wind blowing out, if it's just their strategy. It's like a no doubles deployment here.
Foul.
Justin Bohr, the first baseman, is pretty tight to the line. No Jaime Garcia for the Cardinals this week. He went on the DL with a groin strain.
And they were hoping he could make a start in one of the doubleheader games on Tuesday. Apparently that will not happen.
It will be Tim Cooney instead.
He started on Thursday.
John Lester, John Lackey tomorrow.
Former Red Sox teammates matching up. Jeff Mathis is going to cool down in a bathtub of ice after this game. Blocking pitches with various body parts all afternoon. 3-2 to Coughlin. Look out, Chris Bryant just ducked out of the way.
Man, that's valuable right there. Got the chairman right behind Bryant.
Past Latos. Gordon will backhand, and he gets him.
Still just one hit in this ball game. Bryant single in the first.
Rays trying to snap a 7-game skid, leading 8-1 on the Bronx as they go to the bottom of the 8th. Rough weekend in New York for the Rays. They could not hold a 2-run lead in the 12th on Friday. An error led to the game-ending run yesterday in the 9th. First pitch swinging. Towering fly right field. Gillespie has it. Blue Jays all over the Tigers 9-4 in the bottom of the 8th in Detroit. Miguel Cabrera this weekend went on the DL for the first time. How about the Brewers? They're looking for their 8th straight win. They've got a 6-1 lead in the 9th at Cincinnati.
They've been scoring a lot of points. Slash runs.
Astros and Red Sox 1-1 in the 6th at Fenway. Phillies, Braves scoreless in the 8th. Phillies have dropped 6 in a row.
Cole Hamels, Shelby Miller pitching in that one. Starters anyway.
Ball 1 to Montero. Pirates leading at home against Cleveland 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Orioles leading the White Sox here in Chicago 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Twins and Royals 2-2 in the 7th. Irvin Santana finally making his Twins debut after serving an 80-game suspension to start the season. PED suspension. 6 innings so far, 2 runs. He signed a 4-year, $55 million free agent contract in December. Cardinals trying to earn a split. Dropped the first 2 to the Padres. They won yesterday, and they're leading 3-1 in the 6th today. Hit hard on the ground, but right to D. Gordon, and that'll be it for the Cubs in the 6th. We'll chat with Fergie Jenkins in the 7th. Cubs 1, Marlins nothing. The greatest pitcher in Chicago Cubs history, Fergie Jenkins, joining us in the booth. How you doing, Fergie?
Great, guys.
Great to have you here as always. And a pitcher's duel today.
Definitely. I think that these young right-handers, they're throwing strikes, and that's what it's all about.
Hendricks and Latos, 1-0 Cubs as we play the 7th. Kristen Yelich was at the plate when D. Gordon was picked off to end the top of the 6th. First thing, Fergie, Cubs honoring Ernie Banks all season long. They've got the number 14 patch on the sleeve. We think about Ernie every day. Just talk about your relationship with Mr. Cub throughout your career here in Chicago, and then after you guys retired.
Well, we roomed together the last 3 years we played. Just an outstanding individual. Talked the game of baseball. Never really talked about himself. He enjoyed running across that infield to play first base and putting that uniform on and hitting. I know that, like everybody, that's a Cub fan, seen number 500 here in Wrigley Field, and then his last home run, 512. I mean, it just brings tears to your eyes when the guy goes out there and he performs the way he did, and such a great hitter and a modest individual.
Well, you're right. We would ask him about something in his career, and he would invariably turn it around to talk about his teammates or great guys he played against. Or he would ask you how you're doing.
Right.
You're right. He was way better as a player than young people would remember or know, because he did not promote himself in that regard.
Yeah, his playing career almost gets diminished a little bit in people's eyes because they see him as this, Ernie, he's a happy-go-lucky guy, let's play two guy. And if you have younger people that don't look at the numbers, don't realize how good a player he was.
Oh, outstanding. You know, and I didn't know that he won a Gold Glove as a shortstop. And he MVP 2 years in a row.
Back to back.
So
40 homer guys as shortstop.
Yeah. I mean, he had great teammates around him, but when I joined the ball club in '66, everything was, Ernie's losing it here. Billy Williams is the outstanding hitter. Ronnie, then Kessinger, Becker. But then all of a sudden, you want a clutch hit, Ernie Banks should come up with it, or a home run opening day. He had a home run against Chris Short. I'm trying to think what year it was. I was opening day pitcher. He had a home run and a double, driving the runs that I ended up winning the ballgame.
Some trouble here for Kyle Hendricks.
Kind of
off walk and a single.
Yeah.
So there will be some action in the bullpen. So what do you tell yourself here, Fergie? You've been mowing them down all day. All of a sudden, first two guys get on just like that for a dangerous hitter coming in.
Well, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to attack the hitter the same way. See if I can get a ground ball. And you got guys in the infield could turn that double play, get you out of this jam. But runners on first and second, you got to make good pitches. Can't afford to make a mistake now for them to tie the ball game up.
He's not going to bunt. He's a cleanup guy.
And he's left-handed. So you got to make it hit the ball on the ground.
This is interesting because he has abused Bohr so far today, primarily with the changeup. And that's, third time through, as a pitcher, sometimes you start to think, man, is he going to start sitting on that pitch? Can I continue to throw it here?
I don't want to change it. You got to pop up in the infield.
And it was a changeup.
Yeah. Right there. Outstanding. I mean, you can't change your format. Biggest thing is don't change what's been successful the whole day.
Yeah, this one probably not exactly where he wanted to put it, but you see Bohr kind of pulling off the ball. He has images of doing some serious damage here with a couple of men on. He's leaking a little bit. He's trying to hit that ball into the right field seats. And make very good contact on that high changeup.
When the bat's slow, you're going to pop it up a lot, that's for sure.
Gillespie 0 for 2. First and second, Cubs leading by just a run. There's a strike. What's going on with the foundation these days?
It's been working really well. I know that we just left Des Moines, where we had a couple of days. It rained a few, but we got the games in, supporting JDRF and also juvenile diabetes and also cancer research.
This will be out number 2 as Yelich will head back to tag with no chance. They head to third, so still first and second, 2 outs. Now, for both of you, you've done it before. This is where you really have to bear down, right? Because, JD, you've talked about this spot. You feel like you're out of it, but you're not quite out of it yet, right?
Yeah, I think that's why Basio's going after that, because this is precisely what happened to him in Miami. Different guys, but he had a bases loaded situation. He punched out Stanton and Bohr, I believe, and then Ozuna got the bases clearing double against him. And sometimes I guess it's good for the pitching coaches to come out and kind of nudge you a little bit. Don't forget.
Yeah, you got to stay positive. I mean, the easiest 2 outs, you just got them right now, 2 little pop-ups. The toughest out in the inning is the third out, and you have to work hard to stay concentrated. And I think just an added plus having the pitching coach come out and just remind you situation, although you know yourself.
Yeah, especially because it happened to him earlier this year, and he's a pretty smart kid. That he learns from his mistakes.
And he's got a left-handed hitter. I mean, it's been working. Don't change it. I just think that stay positive, and he's been doing a great job.
AT&T U-verse multi-view. Yelich walked. And Chavarria then singled. And Dietrich takes a strike. Well, and this is where we also get into the anxiety of a hitter in a spot where his team's not scoring a lot of runs, runners in scoring position. They want to swing the bat. Be the hero.
Yeah, the biggest thing is you got to recognize pitches too. And he's done such a great job. Look at that. Change up right back to him.
Beautiful thing. Okay, here we go, Fergie. Fergie Jenkins with a stretch.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Cubs Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins.
A 1, a 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I have
Starlin Castro will lead off the bottom of the 7th. He has some great walk-up music, and the guys in the dugout like to clap along. Anthony Rizzo really into it.
And Borzy.
Day off. Thanks to Fergie Jenkins stopping by.
I feel there might be a big pinch hit opportunity for Anthony Rizzo before this day is over.
There might be. By the way, was that a pitcher talking or what? After the stretch, instead of let's get some runs, let's play some defense.
Changed it up, didn't he?
I like it. Hard on the ground, but he hit it right at Dietrich. Hey, Cub fans, let's go. Do not miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waitlist.
Hey, 0 for 2, first time back out, off the disabled list. A strikeout, a ground out, hit the ball sharply last time to short. Almost don't need to say sharply because just about every time he hits the ball, he hits it hard.
At the end of the bat, so it's going to fly, but not quite as far as he had hoped. As he lines out to center.
It's a great example of his strength, though, to hit a ball on a line straightaway center field that deep when he did indeed hit it off the end of the bat. Catches that one on the sweet spot, and it's a 2-0 ball game.
So the Cubs have one hit. One hit since the second inning last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last Cubs hit before Chris Bryant, a single in the first inning today, was Chris Bryant's grand slam. Wow. Scored their run in the first on a wild pitch.
Hendricks out on deck as Baxter bats here with 2 outs. Pedro Strop is up in the bullpen. Bottom of the order due up for the Marlins in the 8th.
Short hop, nice pick by Gordon. Well, Atos has been terrific, but he's trailing 1-0 as we head off to the 8th.
sports news and opinion than the Cap and Haw Show on CSN Chicago, hosted by David Kaplan and Chicago Tribune writer David Haw. It's the only AM sports talk TV show in town. Don't miss the Cap and Haw Show, presented by Horwitz and Associates, weekday mornings at 9, right here on Comcast Sports Net.
It's been an interesting year so far for Kyle Hendricks. This is his 16th start. He's had a lot of short starts. Only 6 times now out of the 16 has he gone at least 6 innings, but now 3 times he's gone 7+. So he's been really good. He's been really good.
Yeah, including that complete game shutout out in San Diego. Well, and that's how you pitch really deep, really deep into a game, is you have to be well above average, because the numbers say go to the pen 3rd time through the order.
2 bounces to the shortstop Castro. Ozuna retired.
And when you're going along like Hendricks is here this afternoon, the math changes a little bit for the manager. And again, it's the bottom of the order here in the 8th. I think if it was the top or the middle part of the batting order, Joe might have made a move. Kyle due to lead off the bottom of the inning, so this will be it for him.
11 outs recorded on the ground. 6 strikeouts.
And a rare first pitch ball there.
Two balls and a strike on Jeff Mathis. Here it comes. Ooh,
could have been.
Certainly could have. Thing about it, that's the kind of pitch that could knock him out of this game if he doesn't come back and get Mathis. One base runner could be it. Oh, Castro misjudged that ball. He was moving to his left, and it went past him to his right for a 1-out single.
That was kind of funky. 3-1 fastball down and away a little bit. Mathis hits it sharply and just reads it wrong.
Michael Morse has been announced, and that will be it for the starter Hendricks. And it'll bring on Pedro Strop. Weber's sauces and seasonings called to the pen like grill with anything else. Standing O for Hendricks, 1-0 Cubs. And seasonings called to the pen. Here's Pedro Strop.
Pedro has pitched to a 2.75 ERA this year. He's got 41 strikeouts in 36 innings, and the opposing batters hit just 149 against him. Michael Morse off the bench to take this AB.
Just off the DL. First year with the Marlins. A struggle for him, 211 batting average when he's been healthy. And his first cuts in the big league since May the 23rd. Yeah, the back issue flared up. Went on a DL with the finger injury. And then was pushed back because of the back earlier this week. One ball, one strike. Tying run at first. That's Mathis. Gordon on deck.
Big strong guy. They nicknamed him the Beast.
.96. Morse just got a piece of it.
$16 home runs for the world champion Giants last year. His best home run season, 2011 with the Nationals. He had 31.
Called strike 3, inside corner on a slider.
Misses target by a couple feet. Found the strike zone. Slider backed up on him. Marvin Hudson had a real good look at it. You don't anticipate getting that one, though, when the catcher has to reach that far for it.
Gordon shoots this one foul to left. One of the 37,764 at the ballpark. We'll take that one home.
Big ovation for Hendricks as he left the field, and well deserved. Boy, he was masterful today.
Got a big week ahead. Cardinals and White Sox come to Wrigley Field. 4 against St. Louis the next 3 days. Off on Thursday, and then the Sox Friday through Sunday. Castro's going to have to throw to second. Russell covering. They got him. Mathis out at second. They had no chance of getting Gordon. Nicely done up the middle to end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Cubs. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Northside Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Time now for our Elgin Toyota upcoming schedule. So you see 4 against St. Louis in 3 days, and then the White Sox are here this coming weekend. A lot of action right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Fireballing Carter Capps 99 to get the swing and miss from Krista Norfield.
Capps is the guy with that funky delivery who actually jumps forward before delivering the pitch.
Driven out toward right center field. Gillespie will have to play the bounce. Actually, it'll be Ozuna, the center fielder, and that's a double.
The addition, or the return, I should say, of Jorge Soler relegates to Norfield to more of a bench role, and indeed strengthens the Cubs bench. Good swing here, just driving that fastball into the right center alley. Leadoff double. Be a good idea to cash this one in. Capps can really light up the radar gun. 19 times he's been out there. Check out the strikeouts. 42 strikeouts in 22 innings. He's only allowed 11 hits. I guess it would be 12 now.
Key insurance run there at second base with nobody out. By the way, that makeup game Tuesday, 12:20 first pitch. Regularly scheduled game will be at 7:05. One ball, no strikes.
Clearly here you're trying to do everything you can to move this guy along. If you try to take a shot hitting the ball to the right side. Bunt is certainly an option. He's trying to do damage there. Cholula hot sauce. 98 miles an hour.
Two and one.
See, this is a great example of what you were talking about earlier about hitters hitting cross-handed or doing something funky that you know, if he's having success, leave him alone. Same thing with Capps.
Well, you would never teach
if you're a pitching
jumping
coach,
off the rubber.
And so, son, somebody is giving you some bad information here. You shouldn't be doing that. When you look at the numbers, you'd say, okay, whatever you need to do. If you need to stand on your head before you throw it, that's good.
Popped up on the infield, Bohr and Gordon in the area, and it'll be Gordon to make the grab for out number one.
Major League Baseball has said that this delivery is legal. I'm not sure I buy it, but he was asking me my opinion. And Cholula at 99 that time.
And they've told him just to not go vertical, not jump. Kind of drags the foot.
Yeah,
that's okay, according to MLB.
Yeah, according to MLB, it just doesn't feel right to me. It looks to me like there's an advantage gained in that ultimately he's pushing off from some point well in front of the rubber.
Got to be murder on that right shoe.
I guess we have to give him high marks, though, for just degree of difficulty. Most of us, if we tried that, we'd probably end up face first in the dirt.
Sprained ankle at the very least. Fowler 0 for 3. Ball one.
Triple digits that time.
Major hot sauce, courtesy of Cholula. Swing and a miss. Yeah, for those tweeting saying that's illegal, it's not illegal. And the reason why is MLB clarified for him earlier this year what he can do and what he can't. And as weird as it looks, it is legal. Whether JD likes it or not.
And
because nobody asked him.
Jordan Walden does it too.
Yes. Walden now with the St. Louis Cardinals. I would think it'd be hard to repeat your delivery if you're essentially moving your foot that much, the push-off foot.
Yeah, I think it'd be very hard. He doesn't. I'm going to go try this at home later on today.
Don't hurt yourself. The other thing I would say is, if this were legal and gave you a big advantage, don't you think more guys would try it? I think it's so awkward looking.
Right.
I'm not sure that gives him the advantage as much as the fact he throws 99. I don't think that helps him throw 99.
Over the years, well, it shortens the distance would be the argument. His release point is a little further out in front than it is for the average pitcher.
But he actually does push off the rubber to start it. Swing and a miss. So while I'm kind of in agreement with you that it just doesn't look right, I'm not so sure that that particular part of his delivery makes him more effective than other guys. Because again, if other guys would do it, wouldn't they?
Well, and, you know, you don't see it as much in the game now, but years ago, guys used to try to, cheat a little bit. They'd slide their plant foot forward a little bit to try to gain an advantage. Ted Little used to do it. Teddy would get out in front of the rubber a little bit.
Yeah, but he would start there.
Yeah, so you slide your foot along the rubber and then you push it out a few inches in front just to gain a little bit on that fastball.
Okay, so foot on the rubber, foot on the rubber, foot on the rubber, foot on the rubber, now not. See, I think it is legal.
My point is when his back foot hits the ground again, it's like he's getting a second push.
There's a base hit. The Cubs are going to grab an insurance run. DeNorfie is in. 2-0. Chris Coghlan comes through. That's big.
Yeah, not a lot of hitting going on today, but if your name's Chris, you've had a good day. Bryant, DeNorfie, and now Coghlan. That's a good swing of the bat. Tough to get up on that high fastball, but Coghlan all over that offering. Huge insurance run.
Well, the Cubs came into this inning with 1 hit on the day. They now have 3. That's another Chris Bryant with a K. Hopefully K is not a part of this at bat. Gets by. Coghlan to second.
Get a little more air that time. Charged with a wild pitch.
goes. Coughlin to third. Trying to catch them napping. We often talked about Tim Lincecum and the extension he would get, and he doesn't do like the hop or the second thing, but when he actually lets go of the ball, that back foot is way off the rubber.
Yeah, he had a real long stride.
It's a strike, 2-2. Latos today, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Really, the run probably should have been unearned. It could have been called a pass ball. It was called a wild pitch. 3-2 on Bryant. Here it is. He walked in.
See it time and time again from Chris Bryant. Situations where a lot of hitters chase. He's willing to take his walk. Keep the line moving.
Comes Chuck Hernandez, Miami's pitching coach.
If the Marlins are inclined to trade Matt Latos at or just before the trade deadline, I imagine the scouts that were here today will be turning in very favorable reports to their clubs.
Steve Cishek will get ready as quickly as he can. A run in, 2 on, 2 out. Montero, strike 1.
Jason Mott up and ready to go in the Cubs bullpen.
Chance to get back to 8 over 500. And game number 80. Cubs will hit the halfway point tomorrow night.
Wow, that's firm.
And a miss on 99 to end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Caps, but the Cubs got to him for a run and lead 2-0 as we go to the 9th.
Field, the Cubs suggest the use of public transportation. If you ride your bike, there's a free bike check at Clark and Addison. And if you drive your car, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. That's located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Here is Jason Mott.
Jason, the boys picked up 6 wins in relief. He's pitched to a 2.93 ERA, and he's 3 out of 3 in save opportunities. Insurance run in the bottom of the 8th gives him a little wiggle room as he deals with 2, 3, 4 here in the Marlin batting order. What a different feel with no Giancarlo Stanton.
Strike called on Yelich. Cubs being out hit 5-3 as they were out hit last night. And won anyway. 0-2.
Kyle Hendricks' last start was a 1-0 win over the Mets.
Through that one a bit. No problem. 1-2. Pirates a winner today, 5-3 over Cleveland. Cardinals leading in the 9th, 3-1 against San Diego. Chopped. Mott with a tricky hop there, but he knew he had time. 1 out.
Jason looked like he was trying to recover a fumble there. Taking some funky bounces on him, and he's trying to read it. Good concentration. Don't panic.
Comes 2.5 ahead of the Giants for the second wild card spot. Giants have lost 5 in a row. They're in Washington. That's a night game tonight. As opposed to a night game tomorrow morning. Vogelsong and Zimmerman, the matchup. Drive out into deep center. Fowler gets to the spot. 2 away. Chance for a 3rd shutout this week with his pitching staff.
Yeah, and 5th since June 21st. Mott can be aggressive here with the dangerous bore because of that 2-run cushion. We're just happy to get in that bat against anybody other than Hendricks. He's tired of seeing that changeup from Kyle. Big crowd, everybody on their feet.
Two and one. Atmosphere should just get better and better this week with the Cardinals and then the White Sox coming in. Three and one.
I'll throw my. Here it is. See how far you can hit it. Fastball.
Gillespie on deck. ready. Here it is. He got him on strikes. Cubs win. Cubs win. Justin Bohr is going to have a conversation with Marvin Hudson, but it doesn't matter. This ball game is over.
Cubs get it done with 3 base hits today and some sterling pitching. Kyle Hendricks, 7 1/3 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. Marvin Hudson's strike zone was big early, tightened up a little bit through the middle innings, and opened up again at the end.
No replay for balls and strikes. So the Cubs with 3 hits today scored 2 runs. They scored 7 times on 4 hits last night. I guess they've been efficient in that regard.
They've been efficient. And we talk about timely hitting. Well, really good pitching provides the opportunity for timely hitting. That's been the story for the Cubs over the last 10 days or so. They haven't done a whole lot of hitting, but they've pitched so well. They've stayed in games and won their fair share. And nice 2 out of 3 over the Fish here this weekend.
Let's get our Xfinity high-speed action. Big play in this game came in the 6th inning. D. Gordon looked like he wanted to run, and Kyle Hendricks picked him off.
Really worked him over well. Held the ball, threw over a couple of times, then lightning quick feet to get the pick off.
And our Binny's Beverage Depot toast of the game, Kyle Hendricks.
A 6 shutout last time for Kyle against the New York Mets. Today the Marlins just overmatched by his guile. Just painting the corner with a fastball. The changeup was outstanding. I talked earlier about how he needed to come inside to set up a way. He really didn't. He didn't work inside that much. He just dominated that outside corner, and then the changeup had them off stride all afternoon.
2 hours and 18 minutes. A tidy 2-0 Cubs win as they take 2 out of 3. So once again, final score: Cubs 2, Marlins 0. We're back with you Tuesday night, Game 2 of the doubleheader, Game 3 of the series. Cardinals and Cubs from the friendly confines at 7. For JD and our entire crew here at Wrigley Field, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned. Kelly and Todd Hollinsworth will have Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live from the field coming up next.